Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to Daily Reflections with Chris. I'm Chris, your host. Or your host. Sorry, man. I always get so nervous when I start these things. Takes me a minute to kind of warm up, kind of get in the flow of what I really want to, what my purpose is, right, for these videos and what I'm really trying to do here. Mostly I do this out of obedience, right? I felt like a year ago it was heavy. It's always been on my heart to do a YouTube video, a YouTube channel, to share my experience, strength, and hope with you guys. And when I didn't know what I wanted it to be about, was placed in my heart that it would be about the daily reflections, or on the daily reflections, or the topics were going to come from this particular book, the daily reflections. And so I did it consistently for a while, a whole year probably. So I have a ton of these videos on my YouTube channel. But here lately, I've kind of like, I don't want to say fallen off, but kind of like stopped doing them. But I follow people who do them on a regular basis. Either they do them every Monday or every Tuesday or every Wednesday. Sometimes people are like, it's in my heart to do it every day. I feel like out of obedience, I'm going to do this every day. And I was just reflecting on that today about where's my obedience at, right? I mean, have I even asked what I'm supposed to be doing with this YouTube channel? Have I even really honestly taken a look at, maybe my heart's not there, right? And what I get about obedience or today is like, sometimes my heart is there, but it doesn't always feel like it's there, right? It is there. This is what I want. This is what I've been thinking about. This is what I've been dreaming about. So my heart is there, but it doesn't always feel like it, right? So obedience has to come in when my feelings are not in line or in tune, right? My obedience has to be like, oh, you're going to do this video whether you feel like it or not, or whether you think that you're still on the right path. Why? Because God, I truly believe that God knows my heart, and He knows everything that needs to be in and out of my life, everything I need to be doing and not doing to fulfill these desires of my heart, right? He knows all that. So sometimes, He prompts me to do things even when I don't want to do them. Go to a meeting, to get on a 12-step call, help another human being, right? Alcoholic or not. Get out of myself, out of obedience. And I really felt like He's been nudging me on this. He's like, hey, what about your videos? What about your YouTube videos? What about your recovery videos? What about your meeting? What about your group? What are you doing about that? And I feel like He's been kind of like, do that and let me take care of the rest. Let me worry about that other stuff that you're worried about. I feel like He's been asking me or really prompting me to get back to do these videos. So here I am after procrastinating, I guess. It's not that I'm ignoring Him. It's not that I don't know that what I'm hearing is from Him. It's just I'm like, okay, tomorrow or later. Procrastination has always, it's a dream killer, right? And for me, it's been like, it's not really good, and I try to justify it with, because I don't feel like it. Well, I don't feel like it. Well, yeah, sometimes we're gonna be asked to do things we don't feel like doing, and then realize later that that's exactly what we needed to do, right? To feel like that's what we wanted to do. So for today's July the 2nd, so we'll get started here on our topic. It says, the heart of true sobriety. We find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. Willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness are the essentials of recovery, but these are indispensable. That's from Alcoholics Anonymous, page 568. Am I honest enough to accept myself as I am, and let this be the me that I let others see? Do I have the willingness to go to any length to do whatever is necessary to stay sober? Do I have the open-mindedness to hear what I have to hear, to think what I have to think, and to feel what I have to feel? If my answers to these questions is yes, I know enough about the spirituality of the program to stay sober. As I continue to work the 12 steps, I move on to the heart of true sobriety. Serenity with myself, with others, and with God as I understand Him. Wow. So it has 3 questions, right? So it's talking about the heart posture, the heart of true sobriety, right? Which is kind of like, I guess, what I was talking about right now, right? So if I'm asking myself in this particular case, am I honest enough to accept myself as I am and let this be the me that I let others see? Okay, let's be honest here. I would probably say no. I'm honest enough to be who I am, but am I honest enough, or should I say, is that the person that I let others see? Well, of course, Chris, no, that's not true for me, not at all times, right? Because one of the reasons that I took a pause from these videos is because of my voice, or because of the background, or because of my double chin, or because of my hair. Different. When sometimes I didn't really care. I knew it was an admission. I knew what I was doing. I knew where my obedience was at. Sometimes it gets stuck. It gets stuck because I would like to still be that person that I see on other videos, right? The confident person that looks good, that talks good, that, that has a nice looking background. I mean, I feel like I want to be that person. And while internally I feel like I could be, right? I mean, like, I can be pretty confident. I know enough about the program to share it with you guys. I know that I know, right? I've read the books. I've read not all the books, but I read most of the books. I read the books to help somebody stay sober today. So I can help people. I know that I can. But I get down on myself because I don't look like those other people, right? And so I remember one time I was looking at these. I listen to my videos often because I want to make sure that I'm giving you substance, that I'm giving you something to either relate to, or to reflect on, or to help you, right? So to help the audience, right? So I listen to them often to make sure that I'm still doing that. And sometimes I'm just listening. I'm not even looking at them. Well, one time I was looking at him and I was like, whoa, Chris, your hair's messed up. It's like, whoa, dude, are you serious? So I start getting down on myself. And then I start, if my hair doesn't look good, I don't want to get on a video. If I'm not wearing the right clothes, if I'm not feeling in the right, the right space. And I start thinking, like, Chris, that's not being your authentic self, right? So I really had to look at that and come to a place where, like, Chris, those people are their authentic self, and that's what you admire about them. That's what you like about them. That's why you see the confidence. That's why you see whether they have insecurities or not, you don't even see that because they're being their authentic self, even with insecurities. And I have long spurts of that, but to say that I'm like that 100% of the time, I'll say no. My answer is no to that, right? So the other questions, it says, do I have the willingness to go to any length to do whatever is necessary to stay sober? Do I have the willingness to go to any length to do whatever is necessary to stay sober? Yes. 95% yes. Man, I would be misleading y'all if I told y'all that, or if I said, or if I even thought to myself that I was doing this program, perfect, or 100%. And I say that, but I also say that 100% of everything today, of me willing to go to any length today, might be just going to a meeting, because that's all that I have. That's all that I have to give. So to me, that's 100%. Some people might not look at it that way. Be like, oh, he just comes to a meeting, but he never shares. He never talks about the topic. He doesn't help no newcomers. I mean, like, okay, yeah, you're probably right. On that day when you decided to take my inventory and you started to be like, well, he's not like this and he's not like that. You don't know what I was going through. You don't know, those people don't know that on that day I was giving my 100%, even though it looked like 40 to them, right? So the fact that I'm in a meeting when I don't want to be, when I'd rather be home crying or in a closet, is my yes. I am willing to go to any length for my sobriety, because I could have stayed home. I could have stayed crying. I could have not came. But I came not for anybody else, but for me, so that I could stay sober today, right? Because at the end of the day, my sobriety is my responsibility. And if I'm only willing to do like half-ass or mediocre, then that's what I'm gonna get. Half-ass or mediocre lifestyle, half-ass or mediocre sobriety, half-ass or mediocre relationship with other people, half-ass or mediocre success in my career, right, in my job. So for me, I would say my answer to that question is yes, even though to others it might seem like a no. And that's for everything. That's for my sobriety, for my relationships, at work. I give 100%. I was thinking today, I'm probably borderline workaholic, but I love to work. It's just, I like that. I like the excitement. Fast pace is better, but yeah, I can sit in an air-conditioned office all year too. I don't mind. It's hot out there, right? Okay. So now it's the next question. It says, do I have the open-mindedness to hear what I have to hear, to think what I have to think, and feel what I have to feel? Let me read one more time. Do I have the open-mindedness to hear what I have to hear, to think what I have to think, and to feel what I have to feel? That feels like 3 questions and 1 question, right? And I'm going to answer that a little bit out of order, right? Do I have the open-mindedness to feel what I have to feel? Yes, that I do. I feel a lot. I will talk about my feelings all day and night. Well, this is what I felt. This is what I felt. This is how I'm feeling. This is how do you feel about that? You know, I always... Feelings are like, I talk about them a lot. I take them into consideration a lot. Why? People will argue. They'll say, well, feelings aren't fact, Chris. No, they're not. Probably not. But there are a good measure of where I am emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally, right? So if somebody says something and I feel a certain way, I give myself the space to feel it. It doesn't always mean that that's what they meant to, but that's what it meant. But I give myself to at least feel it, right? And when I feel it, I feel like, whoa, what happened, Chris? You've been kind of like on edge all day. You've been feeling like everybody's out to get you today. You've been feeling sad all day. You've been feeling grumpy all day. You've been feeling emotional all day. You've been feeling excited all day. Hell yeah, come on. So I do think that I give myself the space to feel certain things, but that I use it today as a measuring tool of where I am, right? Because I could just be having a bad day. I could just be experiencing the loss, right? The grieving process. The grieving process, I've learned, there's no number to it. I don't know when it's gonna end, and I don't even know when it's gonna creep up in my life, right? Sometimes I just like think about dead people all day. It happens, right? So on that day, and now I'm mad at my partner, or I'm mad at work because they're not treating me fairly. It's like, okay, why do I feel that way? Are they really not treating? I know they're treating you fairly, Chris. Your partner still loves you, right? But I'm a little sensitive today because I've been thinking about my loved ones, right? So when I give myself that space to feel, then I give myself that space to not react. I give myself that space, when I understand what I'm going through, when I give when I can work through that, talk it out, then I can give myself the space and the freedom to not hurt others while I'm going through that. Just be in it, but not hurt others, right? And also, I give myself the little nudge that, okay, you're gonna be in it for today, but tomorrow if you're in it, we gotta do something about it, right? If you're still in this 2 days from now, we gotta do something about it. We cannot stay here. We can get here, we can be here, but we cannot stay here longer than we need to be, right? And everybody's is different. You may not know how long you need to be there right now, but as you grow in the program and recovery in your life, you will start to realize, hey, you know what, that bugged me, but I'm gonna give you 2 minutes and then I'm moving on, right? Okay. Do I have the open-mindedness to hear what I have to hear, to think what I have to think? Okay. I think so. Was I always that way? No. But do I think am I able to get there today? Yes. Do I always show up like that today? No. Good example, yesterday I got invited to a church, right? And for those of you who know a little bit about me, I've been looking for a good church all my life, practically. About 10 years ago, I found one. No, probably more than that. 12 years ago, I found one in San Antonio, City Church downtown. Now it's called City Tribe. That I loved. And I went there by invitation also, right? As a suggestion from one of my good friends, who also was a member. So then, I found this. I went at the. I remembered that my friend had suggested, so I went over there, and I stayed there, and I could count the number of times in my hand that in 5 years I missed a Sunday, mostly because I love that church so much, right? So when I moved to Austin, I was like, man. I kept going to San Antonio every Sunday to go visit that church. And after a while, people were just like, Chris, you have to find your church in Austin, right? We love that you're here, and we don't want you to leave. We're not saying leave. We're just saying you should, give it a shot. And I give a couple a shot, not too much. And so I don't really have a church in Austin. Every church I have is online church, right? So yesterday I ran into one of my new customers because I have a same field, but a different station, right? So I'm getting to meet my customers because now I can't be rude or mean to them anymore, or any kind. I have to. It would behoove me to get to know my customers because they're gonna be my regular customers now. Like, this is my route now. I'm gonna be on this route till I'm not. So I'll be servicing their mailboxes every single day till I don't. So this one particular gentleman introduced himself to me, and he invited me to his church. And I said, yeah, you know what? I said, I think I'll try it. So I went today, and I'm walking up and I'm looking at the cars and I'm thinking, like, I don't belong here, and then I look at the people, I'm like, I don't belong here. I look at their clothes, I don't belong here. And I'm just like, everybody was like, shaking each other's hand, and I wasn't shaking nobody's hand. Nobody was shaking my hand. I was like, man, I don't know about this, right? And I said, man, I just want to go to a spot where I'm all by myself, and the place was packed, so it was really hard to find a spot, but I did. And I remember sitting down and thinking about a prayer that I learned in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, and it's called the set aside prayer, right? And it says something like this: God, help me set aside everything that I think that I know about church, so that I may have a new experience. God, help me set aside everything I think I know about pastors, so that I may have a new experience. God, help me set aside everything that I think that I know about being a new person in an unfamiliar church with unfamiliar people and unfamiliar surroundings, so that I may have a new experience, right? I want to set aside everything I think that I know about this. Everything, in other words, everything that I've already experienced when visiting a new church. Everything I've already experienced about being in a church who preaches certain things. And today, they started preaching. And when the preacher says, or the pastor says, this is gonna ruffle some feathers, I'm just like, man, they're gonna talk about me. They're gonna talk about me. They're gonna talk about the way I love. They're gonna talk about stuff like they always do when I go to new church. And I said, wait, Chris, remember, we're gonna set that aside. We're setting that aside because you want to have a new experience. Plus, don't forget where you're at, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically. You're confused. You feel lost, right? I felt confused. I felt lost. I feel confused. I feel lost. I feel unaccepted. I'm loved. All these things. I have a lot of already feelings with me coming in. So I have to be careful, right? So then I said, okay, I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to set my old history with new churches aside. I'm going to set all that outside and give, let me hear what I need to hear. And then think what I need to think. Not my old thoughts, new thoughts. Not my old ideas, new ideas. Not what I think that I heard last time, but hearing what they're really saying. So what he was really doing is just reading, just like me, just like I read right here. Right? I have no feelings behind it. I'm just reading what the book says. He doesn't have any feelings behind it. He's just reading what the Bible says. I'm like, okay. So I'm hearing the Bible. And the message was nothing what I thought it was going to be. There was no spin on it. There was no attack of any gender or race or nothing like that. He was just facts. And I was like, whoa. I said, okay. Was I overly excited? Was I overly emotional? Did I lift my hands up to worship God like in my other church? No. But the big book tells me that even excitement is dangerous for me. So I felt like I had a pretty good experience. So when my new friend texts me or calls me tonight and says, did you go to the church? How did it go? Tell me what you felt. Tell me what it sounded. I'm going to be like, dude, it wasn't horrible. Was I super excited? Did I lift my hand? I don't have to tell him that, but I know what the experience was. So it wasn't horrible. Thank you for the invite. I might go again because that's the truth. I think I might go again. I think I'm going to go again next Sunday. Was I super emotional in there? Not because of the church, but other things. Stuff I had already brought to the church, right? So why do I say that? Well, because the part of the reading that wasn't read, it's where they get it from the literature is from the appendix, which talks about the spiritual experience. It's the appendix 2 in the back of the big book. Let me get it. Big book. So right back here, after the first 168 pages of the big book, which is the basic text, they have a bunch of stories. And then way in the back, there is a page, there's a piece, it's called right here, Appendix 2, Spiritual Experience. This is Appendix 2, right? I don't know how it looks over there. If it might look backwards, sorry, apologize if it does. So right here it says, way in the back, the last piece of it, which is also part of the reading, but they didn't quote this part. It says, there is a principle which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all arguments, and which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is contempt prior to investigation. And I actually thought about that today when I was sitting there at the church. And I said, you know what? I'll come again next time. You know what? I might do this 2 or 3 more times. Why? Because Contempt prior to investigation says, don't go there, man. You didn't feel nothing. All they did was talk about you. Whoa, no. Let me go check it out one more time. I don't know. Let me check it out 3 more times. And then if at 3 or 4 times I'll be like, okay, I think I've investigated this church enough. Let me go find something else. No hard feelings. I get it. We're not a fit. Let me go find something else. How else can I investigate? Well, see what kind of groups they have, what kind of opportunities they have to serve. See what their mission statement is. See they have 3 or 4 churches. I think they're worldwide. I'm not sure. But that's what I think I heard, right? So that was just an example about having an open mind to hear what I need to hear. That's also helped me when I have conversations. The boss is like, hey, I need to talk to you, Chris. And it's like, oh, God, help me hear what I need to hear. I don't want to hear what I think I hear. I want to hear what they're actually trying to tell me. They say, hey, Chris, we need you to go to this station. That doesn't mean they don't want me here. That doesn't mean that they don't like me. That just means that I'm needed somewhere else and I must go. Okay, I take that. I can use this example for a lot of things. There's still some things that I'm working through, like, my old employer not paying me right, which I think is a bunch of BS because they make a lot of money, and it's not. I feel like the point that I labor for it. It's my money. It's God's money, but it should be at least in my hands for the moment. And they're talking about like, well, we can't get approval to pay you. I'm like, how are you not gonna get approval to pay me? I worked. The approval was made the day you hired me. The approval was made the day you put my position up and said, we're looking for an RCA. And I said, oh, they're looking for an RCA. They've already decided that they're gonna put that money aside to pay for somebody to work 40 plus hours a week, and you're gonna pay them. It's already been discussed. How you can tell me you're not gonna get approval to pay me? That's crazy. But anyway, it's not the first time it happens with that company. So I'm not mad at myself. I'm not mad at them. It's just like, I just wish. Sorry. Dropped it. Sorry, folks. I just wish that it wasn't like that. I wish that they would do the right thing. Right? That's what I'm feeling. That's the space I'm giving myself, the open-mindedness or the ability to feel that. Can I stay in that too long? No. At some point I gotta let that go. Why? Because that harboring that resentment, man, it'll take me to drink. It'll take me to die. It'll take me to talk crap about them. It'll take me to places I don't want to be. I don't want to go anymore. Right? So a part of me has just said, okay, I may never get paid. I may never get paid for that. Do I feel like there are lawsuits waiting to happen? Yeah. Do I feel like I should be the one to head that? No. I don't feel like it. Do I feel like I'm the one who's going to be fighting for it and staying there working miserably for the next 2 years? No, I don't think so. So I made a decision. And I got a different job. So we'll see how it goes. I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still learning about myself. I'm still learning about the job. I'm still learning what I want, what I don't want. I'm still debating whether this is a career for me or not. I'm serious. I've had other things on my mind that I wanted to do. And I haven't had the guts to move on those ideas, on those things, but they are nudging at me, some more than others. Some stuff is like, nah, you don't want to do that. And some stuff is like, I don't know, have you thought about this again? Have you thought about this again? Have you thought about this again? And so the truth is, I do think about it often. Do I always feel like it's the job for me? No, but I think about it. And it's strange because I'll think about, for example, I keep thinking about, I want a corporate job. It's like, okay, well then go apply. And it's like, oh man, I don't know. I always think like I'm not going to make it in a corporate job because I like to be outside. I like to be moving around. I like fast pace. So it's still something I pray about, I think about, I write about, just to make sure. Because for me, I feel like at some point, I don't know when that is, right? I'm not God. I'm not trying to put limits on myself, but I still do think like, okay, Chris, when are you gonna get tired of jumping from job to job to job to job? And it's getting there. I just feel it. I feel like it's getting there. But folks, if you're new to recovery, if you're new to in any way, shape, or form, if you're barely getting to know, maybe you're older than me, you're barely just getting to know yourself, let me just say I'm excited for you, and I'm happy, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you for tuning in. I know that above anything that I might think or feel or do or hear or say is that today I get it that I am not alone and that I am loved more than I think that I'm loved. A friend of mine passed away last week. I don't know how he passed away. I don't know if he OD'd or killed himself or got shot. I don't know how he died, but I know that the struggle is real. His struggle was real. And when I look at everybody who's reached out, wanting, saying nice things about him and caring about him, and part of me wants to be like, okay, now y'all want to tell them that y'all care? Now y'all want to show up? It's like, no, they've been showing up. Those people have been showing up, but he couldn't see it. He couldn't see how much he was loved. He couldn't see how much he was cared for. He couldn't see how his friends would pray for him to get recovery, that they would get better. He couldn't see it, right? So when I was thinking about that, and then I thought about this guy reaching out to me, and I said, man, we just don't know we really don't know how much we are loved. We are loved when people invite us to church. We are loved when people tell us that we are loved. We are loved when people are calling us and checking on us, and many other things. But the truth is, when I am stuck in addiction or alcoholism or in my own thoughts or in my own desires, in my own flesh, I cannot see the love. I cannot hear the love. I cannot feel the love, right? And I really think that that's what this reflection day was also talking about. It's like, are we being open-minded enough to see or hear or feel or think something that we never heard or feel or thought before? And I don't know if you're in that space right now. Maybe you haven't given yourself the opportunity. Maybe you haven't given your mom or your dad or your friends to love you, just to love you. Not everybody loves the same, right? To me, how other people show love is not the way I would show love, and the way I show love is not the way other people show love. So there's no right or wrong. There just is in the love realm. As far as like, just be open-minded to it. That's all I can say, right? Without getting to another topic about what's right or wrong or sin or not sin about love, because I don't want to go there. But I just want to say, I would encourage my viewers or the viewers or people, anybody watching this, to just give yourself the opportunity today. Whether you do the set-aside prayer, the Our Father, the Serenity prayer, or anything, mantras, whatever it is that you do, right? I pray and hope that you would open yourself up enough to let something in. Just Just open the window just enough to let the sun in. Just open and you might like it and open it some more. Just open your heart just a little bit, just to feel a little bit of love. And you might like it enough to open it a little bit more, right? Just open your mind up enough just to be able to give yourself an opportunity to think something new. And you might like it so much. You might realize that you're more creative than you think. You might realize that you're smarter than you think. You might realize that you're worth more than you think. And you might do something with yourself, right? So I'm really excited to be sharing with you again today, folks. We're in July already. On July 4th, it would be a whole year that I started. A whole month. Sorry, not a whole year. A whole month that I started this group. It's called Tercera Tradición. We're in Dripping Springs, Texas. 28900 Ranch Road 12, 78620. If anybody wants to ever come visit or come by, we're here on Sundays 12 to 1:30, and Mondays and Tuesdays 7 to 8:30. We changed our schedule around a little bit just to see if that would be more attractive, for other people to show up. 2-hour commitments seem a little long, I think, for some people. And maybe Sundays are not a good day. Maybe Mondays are not a good day. So hopefully Tuesdays will be a good day, and we'll start to see our attendance rise. We are on the website. It is Alcohólicos Anónimos, ATX.com. We are on the Facebook page, Alcohólicos Anónimos ATX. So you can find us there. You can find our address, or the address of many, many other groups. There's 22 now in Austin and surrounding areas. So if you need help, please find it. I hope that you find it. If you want it, right? If you want it. I know that some of this stuff it's really hard. It needs to be born from our hearts, In the Hispanics group, we say that it se tiene que nacer, right? It has to be born of oneself, either to get spiritual help, mental health, physical help, right? Financial help, whatever it is. When we want that more than anything, we're gonna get it. When we don't want it, then we'll do everything to not get it. So, folks, I love you. I hope that I have encouraged you today. I hope that I didn't make your burden heavier today. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching. And stay tuned. We'll be around. Thank you so much, and have a blessed weekend.